How's it guys? Steve here, aka Dreaded Nomad, Big Island of Hawaii on a Thursday. I thought I would do this video today on the methods of dreadlocking because I had a lot of different topics in mind, but I figured I would go from start to finish, at least making, maintaining, kind of things first before I actually start talking about topics, kind of take it from the beginning. So let's jump right into it. I would say there's three or four ways to start your locks, because when you make dreadlocks, you're not really making dreadlocks. Dreadlocks form over time, so what you're really doing is you're just kind of putting in the structure, groundwork, and then they dread by themselves afterwards. So don't get twisted on that one. You're just helping them along. Okay, so the first one is the one that I did this time, and that's twist and rip. And so that one is pretty easy. You twist it. You don't twist your whole hair all the way down, like the whole thing, and then twist it. No, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, so say start right here with this little flat piece. It's going to be like 1 twist, 2 twists, 3, and then you start from, not all the way down, because it's just going to bunch up and not too high up, especially if you're trying to get down to the roots. So if you're trying to get to the root, twist right about here, and then you're going to take the hair, split it in half, and just kind of pull it up towards. So you do that all the way till as far as it goes. As you guys can see, these are still wispy ends. There's not enough volume of hair right here to actually hold a bunch of knots, so that's why a lot of Caucasian people with dreadlocks have a lot of wispy ends, and we're going to talk about the reasons some of them don't early on in a second. So the twist and rip is pretty nice. The one huge pro about it is that after you're done, you're going to have more length than if you were to back comb. So when there's people saying, which one should I do? Well, depending on what you want, so say if you work in food and you're allowed to, have dreads if they're pulled back, well, you're not going to want a back comb because that's just going to shrink them really crazy from the beginning. If you just do twist and rip, they'll still, you're going to lose, I lost that much length just twist and rip itself. So I could still put my hair back in a ponytail. I could still do all the stuff I needed to do. So that's a huge pro. So the second method is going to be backcombing, and backcombing is pretty much the same thing. You're going to want to put your hair in sections if that's how you choose to do it. You're going to take your hair like this, and it's pretty much just like teasing your hair, but obviously you don't start from the top all the way to the bottom. You're going to want to start about 1 inch or 2 from the scalp. Get the comb going backwards like that. Nice little small sections like that. Make sure to twist your hair a little bit so it's evenly all around, so it's rounded as much as possible. You're going to do that all the way to the beginning. The con of that is your hair shrinks real quick day one. So the pro to backcombing is going to be that you're going to have more knots starting out than you would if you use twist and rip. But those knots also shrink your hair up from the beginning. So the con is that your hair shrinks really fast in the beginning. Twist and rip though, your hair shrinks over time. So eventually they're still going to equal out regardless. Third, I'd have to say, is the crochet method, and that one is one I've never done. I've seen people do it in person on videos, friends and everything like that, but the thing I don't like about it, the look, it's too perfect from the beginning. To me, it's about getting to where it looks good. The whole time that it takes to wait and, just watch them do their thing over time naturally, there's just something so cool about that. But the pro's going to be tight, they're going to be solid. They're going to be, cylinders. They're not going to be loopy and crazy like this. Your tips are going to be blunted from the beginning, most likely. But the only thing is they're going to be really, really stiff, and depending on how close those people start doing, or whoever's doing them, gets to the roots, your scalp is going to dislike you after a couple weeks if they're really tight. So fourth one is going to be natural, natty, just neglect all around. You throw your brush away, throw your conditioner away. Try not to run your fingers through your hair. Take showers regularly like always, and there you go. You're gonna have to wait a couple years for them to actually take shape, but natural, it's more spiritually organic, just earthy, because all of our hair would do that if we didn't use products anyways. So it's just letting your hair take form. So that one's exciting. That's a really cool one. I've heard of people doing the rub. I've heard of people doing wool rub. I've never done it, but I can assume that it would work, obviously, because when our hair rubs our pillows all night, that's why the back of our heads mostly dread out first and fast, because it's all the friction, it rubs on there. That's why the sides and the tops kind of take a little bit longer, unless you retwist or do stuff like that, or root flip. Let's recap real quick. We got twist and rip, your hair is going to be longer from the start. You're going to have, you know, technically less knots because you're twisting and, you know, using that much space, but, you know, you're still going to get there. Then you have the back comb, which is going to be shorter from the beginning. You're going to have way more knots though, so ideally if you had shorter hair, you would do back combing. Longer hair, you could, you know, most likely would want to do twist and rip. Crochet, the pros, it's gonna look great from day one. Cons, I just say it's too pretty, too fast, and they're too stiff. Natural, I gotta say, if you can do it, if your job would allow it, if you don't work, whatever your situation is, if you can do it, I say go for it, because if anything, you can always get it maintained to look better, but you can't go from it looking good to a natural look if you decided to down the line. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. Myself, I did the twist and rip, but I did it really, really loose, just enough to hold my sections together, and I have full-on neglected ever since then. So it's been a year and like 20 days now, so since the day 2 I haven't touched it. I wash it and I pull threads apart that are trying to Congo together, and that is it. I don't palm roll, I don't use crochet hooks, I don't wrap them, I rarely use beads. Here and there I'll put them in, but it's just I kind of just let my hair go. So if you guys like this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you aren't a subscriber, please subscribe. And if you just want to see any other kind of topic, just shoot me a comment below. Let me know what kind of video to make next time, what topic to touch on, what kind of content you guys want to see. And alright, Dread community, let's build this up and let's get this going. So see you guys next time, and shoots.
Bring in the instrumental Rasta.
Yeah.